Good morning,
Hey,
everyone.
good
Happy
morning.
Monday
Good
to
morning, everybody. Yeah, go ahead, Dina.
I was just gonna happy Monday, everybody. We're so glad you joined us on the This Way Network for the chat session. And we have a wonderful guest with us today. We are so excited about this. This is actually Rodney's friend. So Rodney, I'm gonna let you introduce him. Oh, I'm not sure
Well,
you heard
I
me,
had the
Rodney. I was gonna let
pleasure,
you introduce Mr. Edwards.
most definitely, I had the pleasure. Can you hear me? Okay, hold on.
Yes,
Yes.
Wait a minute.
yes, we can.
There we go. I'm here, everybody. Sorry about that. I was actually had a little technical difficulty there. But anyway, I am so honored to have with me today a gentleman. He is a fantastic. First of all, I give him a big salute because he is a military veteran, did some wonderful time there in the Navy, and just a fantastic guy. He is also a Keller Williams real estate guy, been involved in real estate for many, many years, the one and only Mr. Arthur J. Edwards. How you doing, Mr. Edwards?
Good morning. God bless you. God bless everybody. Before I start anything, it's always about God and blessing people and making sure I show love and compassion to everybody.
Amen.
Well,
Amen. I am
I
all for
actually,
that.
well, Mr. Edwards had I met him at the 2024 housing conference here in the city of the in Riverside at the Inland Empire Housing Conference, and him being in real estate, it's far, far beyond um, just housing. When you start talking about the effects of people and families not having a secure place to live, that kind of causes a lot of problems in society. And so we're very honored to be able to have Mr. Edwards on. But talk to me, Mr. Edwards. Tell me a little bit about you started and went into the military at the ripe age of 22. How did that happen?
Well, it happened. I'm from originally from Louisiana, a place called Luling, Louisiana. I was born and I was raised on a plantation with my grandparents, and
Okay.
I had to take care of three siblings, a mama when she came from work, and grandparents. So made me very responsible at an early age. And how I ended up in the military is I ended up was going to be an electrician. I used to climb the poles, and that was a very good pay. And so when I came down the pole, and I'm gonna be cautious when I said it, when I came down the pole, my supervisor said, "Arthur, you're too smart. I don't like you." So he fired me.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
And so, as a young man attempting to make money for myself, my three siblings, my mother, and my grandparents, it was a very
Mhm.
difficult time in my life. And when my mother used to come home as I got older, my mother would give me $5. Now, I want everybody to imagine a young man at the age of 20, 21, and 22 every week with $5 in their pocket. Couldn't find a job.
Wow.
Couldn't find a
Mm.
job. So this is very enlightening. So I went home, I turned on the TV, and the program, Miss Jenna, you might have heard of it, it's called Victory at Sea.
I think I have heard of that. Yes.
So I
Hmm.
started watching, and it was about the United States Navy and how the Navy traveled all over the world and how you could get an education and
Hmm.
it'd be helpful to me and my family. So when I left home, I didn't tell anybody that I was leaving because, mamas in the South would say, "Son, I need you here." And she would have talked me out of it.
Hmm.
So I called a Navy recruiter. I didn't tell anybody. And 3 weeks later, I left. Didn't even tell my mother, my siblings,
Oh my
because I had to
goodness.
because I had to get off my mama's dime. A 22-year-old man with no money,
Hmm.
with now four children, two gone, and I said, I cannot do that to my mother. And I said the best way I could do this is to leave and go join the military, where the military would give me some pay. And then at my 3-2 day, the 3-1 day is now you're in the Navy, and now you cannot leave. So excuse me. On my 3-2 day, I called my mother And I surprised her, but she was
Mm-hmm.
Irish. She said, "Boy, where you at?" I said, "Mama, I'm in the United States Navy." She said, "Come home." I said, "Mama, I can do better from here." So at my 4 months in the military, I had made more money in my 4 months than I had made in 4 years.
Wow.
I went home in November. I had about 4,000, maybe 5,000, and I give my mother half the money for my siblings, my mother and my grandparents. And now every month thereafter in the United States Navy, I started sending half my paycheck home every month for years, for about 7 straight years.
Wow.
And then in 1980, I met a gentleman. I was at a bowling alley in Hawaii at Pearl Harbor. I was now a nuclear welding engineer. Now, for a lot of people, that's a big talent. But what happened is I got qualified to repair nuclear reactors in the United States Navy. I went to a lot of schools, 2 straight years of school for about 10 hours, 7 days a week. And I promised my mother that I would be a better man. And still today, I'm 72 years old. I'll be 73 soon. And I'm a better man because of God's blessing. Now, we all don't know where God's going to lead us. So as a young man in a young age, I turned my life over to God. And God says, I will. Now, to some people, that's a tough statement. But I believe. And I have hope and faith. I have hope and faith that it would have carried me through, and today it has carried me through. And so I still, my mother's gone, my grandparents are gone. I have a baby sister, and I still send money home to my baby sister, even though she has a man in her life. I have a younger brother, and we promised my mother that we would take care of our sister. And I met with him 3 months ago in person. I went back to Louisiana, and then I spoke with him yesterday. And I promised my mother, he and I, that we would take care of our baby sister, and that has come to fruition.
And God gave you the means to do that. Yeah.
Yes. And so, as a lot of people are on this, and it's now touching me. A lot of people on this thing. I tell a lot of people that you have to be kind to people. You have to love people. Now, in this society, we have people that separate us, and I'm gonna say it on the phone. I don't want to be separated from my friends. I don't want to be separated from nobody. I want to be a light. I want to shine light to be able to help people, because people separate us, and as you know, that it is not a good thing. I dedicated 21 years of my life to defending this country, as we call its democracy or its republic. And a lot of people want to take democracy out of America. And I'm a strong believer. I'm a military guy, and I will fight them to stop that. It's not going to be a dictator. I'm not a dictator over my wife, over my family, and I don't want a dictator in this country. It's just me.
Amazing.
It's just me. And I hope a lot of people on this call understand what I'm saying. If you give up that freedom, tyranny will show up, and it is scary. A lot of people don't understand the word tyranny. There's a book I call On Tyranny. You better get that book, and you better read that book, because when tyranny comes, there's no stopping.
Wow. You being a military man, Mr. Edwards, and going into the military at such a young age, you look at young people nowadays, and they're out here trying to make it, but you are an example of a person who started out with a pretty tough beginning, but this thing turned out to be so wonderful for you. You became a working. I mean, you were telling me this. This is why I wanted you to be on this show. It is just remarkable, the level of what you said. You were telling me that when you had to be in the military, they say they're going to be tests. They tell you plenty of time in advance. And you were telling me how your colleagues around you, they knew that they had these tests coming and they failed to prepare. And when it came time, when you knew that test, you got into the books, you weren't going out to eat, you were sitting there, and then you were the first one in to take the test, and you was first one out because you knew the material, but everybody else struggled. What would you say to young people out there who don't have that focus, who don't have that vision?
Now, a lot of people are afraid to tell people the truth. A lot of people are afraid to tell people I love them and I care for them and I want the best for them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as I saw a lot of young people in the military, a lot of family members have gotten away from that, and a lot of young kids disdain from listening to their parents. That's a tough statement for me to say, but it's true. And then you have a lot of kids want to tell other kids what to do. That's unfair. That is truly unfair. The only people should be telling their children what to do is the mama and father, or if that's a father in their life, and the father should be around. Now, I grew up without a father. Now, this is going to be repetitious, Miss Nina and Rodney. My mother said to me, she said, son, they stifle me. I don't want them to stifle you. She said, I want you to be educated. And I promised my mother, unlike my other siblings, I promised her that I would do that. So every chance I had the opportunity, I picked up a book, I read it, and then as I proceeded in school, my friends, the girls and boys said, Arthur, you're smart. And I'm like, I think this is a normal thing. I'm not smart, I just know the material. And so what I used to do is when tests used to come around, I knew the test was coming 6 months from now. I would turn the radio, the TV on. I would not go out and party. I would study for 6 months, 8 hours a day, or whatever free time I had, I would study. And I made it a commitment and a responsibility to show my mother that I was a man of my word.
That's very admirable. And I like knowing that part of what you were saying to your friends was, I'm not doing anything and I'm not anything that you could not do too. And you could not be also.
Right. So when a lot of people used to always ask me, well, Arthur, what you going to do on the test? I said, man, I'm here to make 100. I'm here to be first. Nothing against you, nothing against anybody. I have a single mother. She's 30 years older than me. I have a grandparents who are stricken. They're 30 years older than me. And that's a tough thing. The word responsibility and commitment carries a long way with me. Commitment, responsibility, and a procedure to learn, a procedure to get better and to stay better. I'm 72, I'll be 70. I'm still educating myself. So when a lot of people tell me, oh, I have enough education, I say to them, and it's a tough statement for me to say, I say, you're killing your family when you say you have enough education, because your daughter, your sons are learning you. You're the leader. You're the leader of your family. Wow. Right? And so I show this to my daughter, our only child, my son-in-law, who's a retired lieutenant colonel, my daughter's a registered nurse, my granddaughter, who's married to an Army guy in Germany. He's 27. He's got 10 years in the Army. He'll be retiring at the age of 37. My grandson is 22. He's in the Air Force for 4 years. So I'm the patriarch of the family, and I have to be the leader of the family to present a great leading attitude and example to them. I'm an example to the world if a lot of people don't see it. It's caring, it's compassion. As they talk about in John, love everybody. A lot of people won't do that, so they wonder why they have problems. They wonder why they have problems. You don't commit enough. You don't commit enough. I'm gonna make y'all laugh, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in real estate, and whenever my wife wants something, I say to myself, I'm going to get it for my wife. God has done a lot for me. However, I want my wife to live her best life with me. So, Miss Nina, you know how sometimes you want something, you want this, you want that. So I have made a commitment to be the hunter of the family, to go out and get it. Now that's a tough word because I'm not trying to kill animals. I'm just hunting to make a better life for me and my family and to leave a legacy behind. So everybody on this call, you have a choice to make. And that choice has better be the right one. Even though it's a lot of negativism, I don't concentrate on negative because I went to a lot of schools. I'm proficient. I'm on the pro side of life. I want the best for everybody. Now, I'm going to tell everybody something. And a lot of people may not like that. When the president signed the infrastructure bill, a lot of people was against the infrastructure bill. Now, I'm a mathematician, trigonometry and calculus, mathematics. So when you have now young men and women looking for a better job, you can go from 35 to 70,000 a year because now with the infrastructure bill. So what does that mean? That means now you can make more money. That means in 5 to 7 years, you're now double or triple your income, and you can own properties, and also you can get out of debt. So when I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't like this," I tell a lot of people, go read before you make an opinion or a statement. Go read what that bill is about. How it will change your family's life. It's an indicator on the first thing I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't like this. Oh, I don't like her." Have you found out about that person? I remember when I was coming up, "Oh, I don't like you, Arthur." What? I used to always ask him, "Why you don't like me?" I'm caring and compassion. Why you don't like me? Have you been taught to hate? Have you been taught to dislike people? Even when I was in the Navy, "Arthur, you're so smart. Why are you so smart?" I said, "Man, didn't you go to school? Didn't you want to get better?" I travel the world. And I'm going to tell y'all something, ladies and gentlemen. I was treated better as I travel the world than I'm in America.
Wow.
I have been treated better traveling the world than in America. Now,
do you think it's good for young people to get out and see the world so that they have a better perspective on things?
Yes. Why? It will open up their mind because a lot of people have been taught that only one way is right. No. Once you get out there, you can see how other people live. You can now become more understanding and become a better, compassionate man or woman. Now, as we all on this call, don't we all want the betterment for ourselves and our family? Don't we want to have more money for ourselves and our family?
And so, Arthur, the reason that this show is about family, community, and the benefits of home ownership. And you shared something with me about legacy building. Can you talk about that?
Oh, that's a great subject. Like I said, everybody want to have money, but it requires money to do stuff. It requires openness. Does everybody know what last month was about? When Rodney said housing, no, it was fair housing signed into law in 1968. And everybody should know who signed that law. It allowed people of color to own properties. It opened it up the gate. Now, it also changed the way people live because we all want to leave a legacy. We all want to leave money and things behind for the betterment of our families so it can be better. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say something to you. Do you know by being restricted, America lost $16 trillion by being unfair to blacks and minorities. America would be $16 trillion richer had they allowed blacks and minorities to own property.
Wow.
When
we were at the housing conference, there were people speaking, and this was not coming from an African American. This man said that sadly, years prior, not that long ago, that there were things on the books where people, African Americans, just couldn't own property. And that kind of set things back so far, where it was incredible when you started hearing these type of things. And so there had to be laws and things put into place to level the playing field.
Well, there was not just laws on the books to prevent from owning property. There was laws put in the books from people not loving and caring on who they want to love,
That's
who
right.
they want to marry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, I'm on this platform, and I have to be real, because if I'm not real, I won't be real with myself and my family.
Understood.
People have to look at each other in their face and say, am I fair? Am I fair to myself? Am I fair to my family? Am I fair to another person that I'm going to meet? Am I going to have an open dialogue about not being biased and allowing a person to have a say-so? No, we want to leave a legacy, right? When the market crashed, I lost 6 houses.
Wow.
Mhm.
I was headed there so I can leave some for my only child, my grandparents, my grandkids, my sister. My sister will inherit 25% of what I own if she's still alive from my daughter. My daughter and my grandkids will inherit 75% of what me and my wife owns to a living trust.
Woo.
A living trust, right? A lot of
Mhm.
people don't understand that you need to have a will and a living trust, because if you don't have a living trust and you have just a will, it will go to probate and the state will come in. So when a lot of people say I'm educated, I always ask them, is that an opinion or a fact? Too many people are opinionated because they won't read the facts. They won't sit down and read, because most people's lifespan is 4 seconds. 4 seconds, they go
Right.
into the next. They go into the next thing. No, I'm going to spend an hour on it. That way, I can now come back and make an educated decision. Right now, as we talk about owning houses, there are several different programs that lenders have, and of course, Rodney was there. People from Washington D.C., people from New Jersey, people from all over, that the conference brought in to speak to a lot of people about home ownership, legacy, wealth building, and a lot of people were not there. Why? Because they have to work, and they have to work, right?
Right.
And as a young man, after I got fired, I said nobody will ever fire me again. I stayed in the military for 21 years, and I'm gonna make y'all laugh. And I tell people, I want you to laugh. I don't care how bad it got. I was not getting out the military. Because a guy showed me that if you do 20 years, you will inherit 50% of your base pay for the rest of your life. And if you do another year, it's 2.5%. Now, I was also licensed insurance when I met a wealthy guy who retired from the Navy named Mike Collum, running a multi-million-dollar insurance business. And he said to me, Arthur, I want to teach you for your future. Now, I'm 23 years old, 24 years old. I'm trying to make it. What am I looking at the future? You see how people will help you out if you turn your life over to God? And when that guy said, Arthur, I want to teach you for your future, I shut my mouth and I went to learning. I became a learned instructor. See, everybody talking about I'm a teacher. There's only one teacher on this planet, and that's God. I'm a learned instructor. I'm a learned instructor. I tell everybody I'm a teacher. I say, you don't know more than God. You don't know more than a doctor. You don't know more than a physicist, a neurosurgeon, a chemist, a biologist. So don't tell people you know everything. No, you don't. Attempt to learn, attempt to get better. The betterment for you and your family and this planet. So when you leave a legacy, you know what I tell a lot of people? How you want to be remembered? Just remember how a nice guy was. That's all I want to be remembered as. That's it.
That's a good goal.
everybody, one thing I just want to say, I just want to recognize some of the people out there. AC Cruz, Chloe, Carrie, thank you for coming on and saying, and just leaving your comments. There's so many wonderful comments that people are saying. Chloe says, "Oh, Arthur, you wouldn't fit in today's youth, and they're still at home at 45." Whew, there's some tough words out there, but you're saying some things that's very powerful for young people to get up and to get out there and really to follow their dreams. We've got people all around the United States. We got Elvira over in Poland. We got a lot of people watching. The things that you're saying about home ownership and being able to own that equity and to be able to build. You shared some very valuable things with me and my colleague Marvin. You sat down with us. You not only you being a real estate guy, you sat me down with your banker, and you talked directly about solutions to home ownership. And it's very powerful, these words, and the fact that you traveled and you shared something with me that you said that you were working on things in certain positions, and you were the only person of color there. How did that feel?
It felt disheartening because when I went into Keller Williams, there was only 2 black females there, and I prayed to God to be able to change it. So whenever I talk to somebody, here's my statement to everybody, and I'm gonna say 2 things. Every time I talk to somebody, is good morning, God bless you. I hope you and your family are doing well. I'm Arthur with Keller Williams Real Estate. Do you know anybody looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate who has a real estate license or would like to get a real estate license? Why? Because I want to change the dynamics to help people. That is called leverage. So I prayed to God, and God allowed me now. Every time I meet somebody, I said, I can help you. I can leverage my time, because sometimes a person may be not qualified or not ready to buy. So if I help you get your real estate license, if I sit with you and say, I did it, you can do it, I'm going to help you. I'm going to leverage my time to help you. Wow. So I do my best to bring at least 25 new people into real estate that never thought they would ever get into real estate.
Oh, I love that.
I have a system, Miss Nina, that if you sit with me, if you listen to me, I can leverage my time to help you get your real estate license, to help you make money and make even more money. So whenever a person says, well, I just bought a property, oh, I don't have no money, I say, get into real estate. And so I help them pull their calculator out. When the last time you've used your calculator, Miss Nina?
This morning, as a matter of fact.
Okay. So the first thing I tell them is there's 2 differences. That's linear income and exponential income. Now, I'm going to say, I hope you know the difference, because a person tell me, if you don't know, you better learn. I was taught this as an early age. I talked to a guy one time. I said, I don't understand what you're saying. He said, young man, I think you better learn. And I got back deep into the book. So linear income is working hours for dollars or overtime for dollars. So at 2 weeks or a month, you know what you're going to meet. However, exponential income is an unknown X. 1X times 1X. I used to make people laugh, and I do it all the time. Laugh. 1X times 1X is $100,000. How is that possible? Mathematics and trigonometry, because X can be unknown, right, Miss Nina?
That's right.
X can be known. So when I was in college, while I was in the Navy, the college professor had taken a leave of absence, and I was doing college on my military time. And when I got to X, and I'm like, mathematics, I'm like, it changed me. It changed my brain. It changed my non-conscious. You have your 10% conscious, you have your 90% non-conscious. So my 90% non-conscious runs me into helping people. I always tell people, you can do it. If you were told that you cannot do it, I'm going to be the one who tell you you can, because I want this world to be better. So when people are more educated and not spending all their time on a job and not partying all the time and not wasting your money all the time, you can be a better man. Right?
That's very powerful. Well, you know what? I tell you, this has just been remarkable. We have blown through this 30 minutes, and I have to tell you, Mr. Edwards, I would love for you to come back, because we haven't even dived deep into the ways and the steps of and the tricks that you understand about home ownership and the preparation.
They're not tricks, Rodney.
Really?
It is history,
A system,
and knowledge, and a system that is now put into place so everyone can benefit if they believe.
if they believe. That's right.
So somebody said, I wouldn't fit into this system. That is an unknown statement about me or anybody. I can fit into any system because I have the education and the wherewithal to get better. So when I was getting younger and I was in school, always the bad kids in the back, and they'd be the first one to want to run out the class to the door. And they approached me one time and said, Arthur, I'm trying to get out of this class. You know what I told them? I'm trying to get better. You can do what you want, but I'm here for me and my family. So the person who made that statement is about educating yourself so you can be better, be a better man or a better woman, because I'm a picky man. I got the right woman that I sat with for 2 hours and says, are you with me?
Wow.
Are you with me? Because I'm not trying to find a detractor in my life. I'm trying to find a contributor in my life.
Right.
Well,
Be
I have
a
to
better
tell you,
man. Be a better woman. Being about God. Being about God's business. Everybody want to talk about this, my business. You ain't got no business if it ain't about God.
there it is.
And they want to know how I'm blessed. I know I'm taking, but you want to know how I'm blessed so much? Because I shut my mouth and I read my Bible. I done read that Bible back and forth. When somebody tell me something, I said, you don't believe. You don't have hope. And you don't have transformational power to say, I'm going to win this game.
There it is.
Because if God is for you, who can be against you?
God has already set the will on people. So when people say, I want something, God wants you to go do it. Most people sit around talking about, I'm waiting on God. God didn't wait on nobody. He went from here to there, went from here to Nazarene, to Bethlehem, and it was always going somewhere. And most of my people talking about, I'm waiting. I met with a person last week, had a real estate license for a year. And I told him, I'd fire you. You wasted all this time. And I had to pull a calculator and show how much money she's missed by waiting on a year to finish her real estate courses. It's sad.
Wow.
Come on.
Well, we're going to have you back. I have to tell you, man, I hate to let you go, but you know what? Arthur, thank you so much. Again, thank you for your service to this country. Thank you for being a great veteran, a patriot, a real, person that's inspiring people. And I really appreciate that. And everybody, thank you for being on with us. We really appreciate you being on the chat session here on the This Way Network. Nina, I'm going to let you close it out. Hey, go ahead.
Miss Nina, I got one more thing to say.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We went to church yesterday, and I know a lot of people don't go to church, and they're going to be mad with me. You don't turn your life over to God, it's going to cost you. At 12 o'clock yesterday, my cousin, who's in the Marines, is getting transferred to Sassapo. He said, cousin, I need you to sell my house.
Wow.
I get a call at 1 o'clock. My wife, I'm here to talk to this person. The person said, I need you to meet with me on the 18th, and we're going to sell your house. Only God.
Wow.
Man. Wow. That is amazing.
Thank you, Ms. Nina. Thank you, Rodney.
Well,
Thank you for coming. We're so glad you were with us, and thank you. And we do want you to come back because I have so many more questions, and there's so much we would love to ask you. And and our audience is, you know, they're all about you coming back too. They want you.
And tell the audience, I mentor across America. Keller Williams in 50 states and 50 countries. I mentor you anytime you're ready to do it. Amen.
There you go.
I may take
Well,
you
you
up on
heard it.
that.
Miss Nina, you
And
have
me
my
too.
Miss Nina, you have my permission to get my information from Rodney, and I'm here to help. I mean that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Well, hey, you just watched an empowering chat session right here on the This Way Network. God bless everybody. We hope you have a blessed week and a blessed Monday. Get on out there. Have a great time. And Nina, you can go ahead and close it out.
Just want to say to everyone, thank you so much for being with us, and y'all be of good courage. God is with us, and we are not alone. Bye, everybody.